a little Steely Dan. Get back, Jack. Do it again. Hello, everybody. Let's see. Is this live or is it just fooling me? It says live. So let me see if I'm over here. And I am over there. So hello, everybody. It's Wednesday. Good to see y'all. So we had a little mix up. I was going to have Ryder on today, but that's cool. Technical issues happen and we'll have him on next Wednesday. So looking forward to it. He put a lot of work in his presentation. So Ryder, if you're listening, yeah, just push it back into the future, which means technically it's already the past. So we'll make it the present though next week. How's that? Welcome everyone. Favor and Bosto to us. Oh, got Sanji here. You know, he says, "Hey everybody, what's happening?" Yeah, the vibes are lively and high, and we'll just do the big hug. We need to. World's on the precipice of something. So, all right. Appreciate you, buddy. So, what's up, bud? Hey, Robert V. Good to see you. Hey, Lois. Good to see you. And Marsha. Hello. David Casso. Martin and Heidi. Hello. Big Eye. There we go. That's cool. That's cool, Ryder. We'll get it next week. So looking forward to it. And yeah, it's all cool. Yeah. If we can be like the reed, always learn to bend, because we're going to come right back up. And then we become like the oak tree, and then they bend to us, right? That's anyway. Hey, Susie Q, what's going on? Carlton, good to see you. And Cheryl, Peter, what's up? Sarah, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Sending a big high-fi out there to David Barry. And thank you, Robert V. Much appreciated. I have a stuffed bear from Extinction. You know, whatever makes it. Brandy, you're a fine girl. Great song, by the way. Amy, what's up? So Danielle, hello, and learning to bending today for that, sure. Yeah, you know. Street Mom, hello, good. Haven't seen you here before. Yes. Plane, Trains, and Automobiles. Great movie with Steve Martin and John Candy. Great comedy, very touching. John Hughes, who directed many of those films in the 80s, was a fabulous director. He just knew how to bring emotion and comedy. But, you know, the great scene there is John Candy is driving down the highway and, you know, they almost have this head-on collision. And Steve Martin looks up and says, "Are you all right?" John Candy says, "I'm just like the mighty river, how it flows. I go with the flow." And that's how we do it here. We go with the flow. Makes it better. It really does. You know. So let's see. What else going on? I want to read this because, you know, we used to do it very regularly, and sometimes it's good to refresh ourselves. That's the way I look at it. So, all these favors will come upon us and overtake us if we give heed, give voice to them each day. You know, if you speak favor, favor manifest. It does. I'm telling you, a lot of you know that already. Favor will be with me in the city. Favor will be with me in the country. Favor will heal my body when I speak favor into my body. Favor will set apart my children, my animals, my ground as favored with abundance of joy. Favor will be on my food, my water, my pantry, my life force. Favor will walk with me when I come in and when I go out. Favor will cause my enemies to be at peace with me. Favor will be upon my barns and storehouses, where I keep my valuables, to prosper and to be in safety. Favor will be upon me in everything I undertake. Everything I set my hand to, favor shall cause it to prosper. Favor shall be upon all my material property, and shall cause it to last longer and not break. Favor shall protect me, my offspring, my possessions from calamity. Favor will lead me to good fortune in all things and at all times. Favor will cause me to be the head and not the tail. Favor will cause me to come out on top and not beneath. Favor will cause me to always be above and not below. Favor will cause me to have favor with the elements. Favor will cause me to have favor with the spirit realm. Favor will cause me to be favorable to everyone I meet. They will see me with favor. Favor will seek me out. It will overtake me and abide with me. No weapon of any kind shall harm me, nor will it prosper. And it will be created in my words, and what has said has been done. So that's how we hang. That's, yeah. So I'm going to get into another thing, because this is one that I really like. It was sent to me a couple of years ago, and it's cool. It says, write in your notebook on the first day and sign it. So you sign it, and you write, this day, whatever this day is, I cease believing in visible money as my supply and my support, and I view the world of effect as it truly is, simply as an outpicturing of my former beliefs. I believe in the power of money. Therefore, I surrender my God-given power and authority to an objectified belief. I believed in the possibility of lack, thus causing a separation in consciousness from the source of my supply. I believed in mortal man and carnal conditions, and through this faith gave man and conditions power over me. I believe in the mortal illusion created by the collective consciousness of error thoughts, and in doing so, I have limited the unlimited, but no more. This day I renounce my so-called humanhood and claim my divine inheritance as a being of God. This day I acknowledge God and only God as my substance, my supply, my source, and my support. Now, God can be whatever you, it's not a personification. A lot of people get wrapped up in that. But anyway, then use this affirmation every day and repeat it 3 additional times. In the beginning, that's how you do. Are there any thespians amongst the soul tribe? You know that when you get a script, what do you do? In order to learn your lines, you repeat it over and over, and then you add emotion. Same thing. This says for a total of 40 days. Actually, within 21 days, you've laid new synaptic pathways in your brain. And if you continue with the affirmations each day, those synaptic pathways will begin to actually grow and increase. Quite interesting. Memorize and meditate upon each affirmation twice a day. Make notes of any thoughts that come to you. Number 1, source is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. This all-providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me, the reality of me. I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, and to know that the divine presence, I am, is the source and the substance of all my good. And substance here, folks, has a real important part. There is a verse that says, Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Yeah, substance. 3, I am conscious of the inner presence of my lavish abundance. I am conscious of the constant activity of the mind of infinite prosperity. Therefore, my mind is filled with the light of truth. Through my consciousness of my God self, the Christ within as my source, I bring into my mind in feeling nature the very substance of spirit. This substance is my supply. Thus, my consciousness of the presence of God or source or whoever within me is my supply. That's what I told you the other day, El Shaddai means. Um, Money is not my supply. No person, place, or condition is my supply. My understanding and knowledge of the all-providing activity of the divine within me is my supply. My consciousness of this truth is unlimited. 6, my inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience based on my needs and desires. As the principles of supply in action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. 7, the divine consciousness that I am is forever expressing its true nature of abundance. This is its responsibility, not mine. My only responsibility is to remain aware of this truth. Therefore, I am totally confident in letting go and letting God appear as the abundant all-sufficiency in my life and in my affairs. 8, my consciousness of the Spirit within me as my unlimited source is the divine power to restore the years the locusts have eaten. It makes all things new and places me on the high road of abundant prosperity. This awareness, understanding, and knowledge of spirit appears as every visible form and experience I could possibly desire. 9, when I am aware of the God self within me as my total fulfillment, I am fulfilled. I am now aware of the truth. I have found the secret of life. The knowledge of the activity of the divine abundance is eternally operating in my life. I simply have to be aware of the flow, the radiation of that creativity, which continuously, easily, and effortlessly pouring forth from my divine consciousness. I am now aware. I am now in the flow. 10, I keep my mind and my thoughts off of this world, and I place my entire focus on the divine presence within as the only cause of my prosperity. I acknowledge the inner presence as the only activity in my financial affairs, as the substance of all things. I place my faith in the principles of abundance in action within me. And that was from Moon Rising. Yeah, baby. You know, this stuff works. It really does. And if you want that, I'll be more than happy to share it with you because it's freaking phenomenal stuff. And I thought that I would bring something refreshing. There's a lot of heavy, heavy stuff out there, folks. And some of the subject matter here that we deal with, I mean, draconians, reptilians, serpents. I mean, come on. It's can get really bizarre and it can get heavy, but there is always the light, and that's within each of us. And I love those affirmations. I have them on my wall because they work. And, you never, ever at a point in your existence that where you don't need constant affirmation each day. Otherwise, you get sucked right into the machine and then you'll go, damn it, you know, here I am again. Yeah. So it is true. I know I speak favor over my body all the time. And favor means empowered to prosper. I mean, if someone favors you, they're empowering you to life, to prosperity. Prosperity is not financially alone. Prosperity is physical health. Prosperity is wellness of mind. Prosperity is peace of spirit, the solitude of the soul, to be in the tranquility of the moment, regardless what the storm is outside. Favor protects my house. When my neighbors find calamity, my house, for some reason, because of favor, is spared. They've noticed this, and it will work. It's just that unless you apply your faith, it'll never happen. And I think that that is the loosh that they feed off of us. Um, it's faith. If you don't, all of us have a measure of faith. I'm just telling you, we do. Now, what you do with your measure is up to you. Some people allow it to become moldy and they never use it. Some become aware of it and begin to make use to it. And then there are those who understand the faith principle, how it works. And we take our measure, and each seed that we plant with our faith becomes a towering oak tree. And that's how faith works, calling those things that be not as though they are. It moves mountains, it changes realities. So anyway, there you go, folks. If you wanted your positive, upbeat, um, this is it. You really have to understand that, as Diana Ross saying, there ain't no mountain high enough, darling. None. We all got it. And you know, fear is polluted faith. Fear is faith inverted. That's why it's so powerful. And that's why the news media, that's why governments, that's why all the draconian systems of today are all fear-based, because it's inverted magic. And they use us against ourselves. Because once you believe in something, it's no matter what anyone says to you, no matter what anyone shows you, your faith is going to say, no, I don't see it that way. Now, it works both to the positive and to the negative. It's true. Top salespeople are the ones who understand faith. They get it. Top athletes, top performing athletes, they get it. They understand. And I like golf. I enjoy it. This weekend is the Masters. And, a lot of those individuals that have been disciplined enough and used their faith, and you listen to the stories, and it's not religious. They understand that faith is an actual substance. It's tangible. And I like the story of Jordan Spieth. He had pictures of Tiger Woods all in the bedroom, and he saw himself holding up the Masters trophy. Saw himself holding up lots of trophies. And, it's that visualization. That's the faith. He put faith into that and it came about. Don't know why I got off on track on this. Somebody needed to hear this. We can change the world. It's true. And regardless if the world's on the brink, there's always going to be a remnant. And we're going to be the ones that are going to be sitting in literally the serenity of the solitude of the embrace of peace of spirit, peace of mind, peace of body. And while the whirlwind rages in the world, we sit as though there's nothing more than a breeze. I'll have another pina colada, please. Thank you. So there you go. Do you believe in magic? Yes, John Sebastian. Really, John Sebastian is one cool individual. So, true story. Go and watch the Woodstock film. And when John Sebastian came out and did his set, he was tripping. He was peaking on Orange Sunshine, I think is what he had said. And he was tripping really heavy. And I can only imagine what he had to see out in that sea of people, And I applaud him that he kept it together as well as he did. And yeah. And, folks, we've got to learn to laugh. Someone gives this a thumb down, so what? It's their reality. And some people just don't like being happy. People, listen, the fear porn channels on YouTube, the ones that always have the next disaster and, the next crisis, it's addictive porn. It's stronger than porn in the true sense, because you're dumping huge amounts of dopamines into your system when you get afraid, when something agitates you and what have you. Whereas, if you're of the of the side of the street that goes, yep, let it happen. We're going to be fine. We're going to be just fine. And yeah, we're going to see it go by. Yep. And they're going to say, well, aren't you freaked out? Aren't you going to go ahead and just start, and we're going to say, nope. Since I quit, my wife and I basically quit watching television. We have a few shows that we enjoy and we do, but we record them. And so we don't have to deal with all the brainwashing of the advertisements, because it's primarily big pharma. And I told someone the other day, I said, they said, well, do you miss it? I said, no. I said, I know I've at least missed, I don't know, several hundred crises. Was never even aware of them. And yet the sun still rose in the east and it will set in the west. Yeah. No, I'd rather study. Even the subject matter we had on this week, a lot of people had cognitive dissonance. I mean, there are those who are just really programmed deep and it freaks them out, because the indoctrination has been so deep that anything to do with reptilian, draconian, serpents, it's amazing on the criticisms that I have seen was the fact that they never addressed the historical record. They addressed what they saw as their interpretation of what history was. And those are the kind of programs I like. I do. Because it causes us to think there is something we're missing as a species. Homo sapiens sapiens, if that's what we are technically. Hello, Franny. Love you. So I guess in the anthropological record, there's a gap. The earth has a way of, erasing history, and it also has a way of preserving history. But we obviously are missing something. The, the regression of our species, and we are a regressed species. I argue as my evidence, and I challenge you to bring your evidence to the table, that through the written record, that is the record that we have of Homo sapiens recording what they were witnessing, what they believed, and what their imagination told them. And if you compare those records that go back 10,000 plus years, and you compare those to the Bible today, it's the same regurgitation of the same construct of the same context. Nothing has changed. Nothing. In fact, we're going to continue with the time loop chronicles because it's very evident that we are, regardless if it's 1,000 years, 10,000 years, whatever, there is a time loop evidence. And whatever it is, it has held humanity back. If we are so progressed, why do we have a living hell in the world today? Why do we have chaos and confusion? There is no leadership in the world anymore. There's no leadership anywhere. And things are broken. They're broken. And we do not seem to have the collective consciousness of finding a solution. We revert back to the old ways. Something is wrong. Something's really wrong. I'm just reading some of the comments. I know, and when we talk about faith here, it's important. No religion in the world, no God in the world can exist without faith, human faith. That's the problem with the history that when you perceive things through certain mediums, that it's only the humans who spill the blood. The gods never do. It's only the humans that seem to pay the price. The gods never do. Something's upside down with that. And if we're in this cycle, then what kind of intelligence are we dealing with that it would even allow this? Joyce, it's an interesting discussion. I would agree with you. Or is it by design that we keep reverting? Listen, I am totally in that camp as well. I can see it. I've done programs on it, and I agree. I mean, to me, it befuddles my cognitive thought process as to why in the 10,000 years that we have, they say, documents. I mean, I think the Sumerian tablets are a good baseline to work with. Now they go, to the Akkadian and the Indus Valley. I know that as well, but we have to have a baseline, right? So the Sumerian tablets would be a good baseline to begin to measure our matrix as to how we will begin to benchmark our progress of intelligence. And by all means, the Sumerian culture was advanced. They invented the wheel. They invented the sailboat. They invented what we still use today in modern agriculture. They were the ones who invented the very form of government most countries have, even the United States. You look at their architectural design. You look at their astronomy, their astrology, their mythology, their folklore. You use that as a baseline and compare it with Homo sapiens today in 2021. I agree, Joyce. The evidence is overwhelming. We have regressed. We never seem to reach a pinnacle, except for the individuals and the savants, on a collective population scale. It's difficult for us to get above 100 IQ. And this is totally off subject. I didn't even was going to talk about this, but it baffles me. And yet we'll argue and we'll debate and we'll take positions and sides. And, I guess that's an exercise. At least maybe it's a sign that some of us can break out of it. I don't know. And then you look at the other curse, and it is a curse. The fact that we should be living at least 1,000 years at a bare minimum. We should be at an average IQ of 20,000. And we should, by at this point in our evolution, we should be living well into our 10,000s of years. These bodies have the natural design to literally make us babies again, to regress our youth. Genetically, they did something. Gina says, I am over 100. Well, if you are, way to go. Those with us were high IQs. Yeah, it's true. They put us in the special class, and it's true. They called the classes that I were in, they called them advanced classes, advanced education. I had, we were into calculus when most of the people in high school were just getting introduced to algebra, and so on and so on. But you know what? We were still in this special class. I mean, they had another special class for that were, mentally challenged. And so it's just a matter of perspective, I guess. Well, Gina, now imagine in this world, it wouldn't be much fun. But I think if we had an IQ of let's just say 10,000, I believe that we would find the utopia that mankind seeks. And then years, well, that would be kind of cool. All the other crap that they and today it's all big pharma. Everybody's got to have drugs. Drugs. Everybody's got to have drugs, Our society is based on drugs. You have the drugstore. I mean, now you have recreational drugs. Who'd have ever thought? Mankind for the longest time had the spirits, alcohol, fermentation, distillation, alchemy, and then we had the herbs. So Jerry Garcia had it right. What a strange trip it's been. Oh, come on, folks. Yeah, some of y'all are just too serious. Lighten up. Come on, I'm reading some of the comments. Let loose a little bit, would you? I mean, my goodness. What a bunch of sour pusses around here. Relax. It's okay. You ought to deal with some of the crap that I have to deal with. For instance, the hate mail from the Christians. I don't get nasty emails from, Muslims, from Hindus, not even Jews. I don't know. Druids? Nope. Wiccas? Nope. It's just the Christians. And they are nasty, they're judgmental, they're venomous in their words. And so, have to deal with that. So lighten up, folks. Come on. Oh my goodness. We are such a constricted race. We really are. Mm, 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 mm. It's all competition, don't you know? It's all competition. Oh boy. I'm just reading some of the comments. I appreciate that organic intelligence. We try to be intelligent here. We try to think about, that, there's more to heaven and earth, Horatio, than what we perceive. Always amazes me how people summarily reject something. Go, nope, 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 that ain't happening. No, yeah, it is. So now we're completely 35 minutes into this. So the next big thing that's going to happen, and it's going to happen, we have a really big thing that's underway now, but they're going to really step it up. And Al says, I'm an expert of no, Al, I've seen your creativity. I think your IQ is much higher than what you think. Al, by the way, Cirillo is a very talented individual. We need to get those soul card decks sold out. Tessa, ain't that the truth? Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like walking into a room where someone passed gas. And I mean, the ones where they've eaten eggs. And so when they fart, it literally almost is like that green cloud. That's what it's like sometimes. You walk and you go, like, did someone die in here or what? But yeah. So uh Rodolph Steiner. Oh yes, yeah, I did one, and I'll do another one. Yeah. Well, thank you, Jack Dreaming. It's true though. Um, just to tell you the truth, I mean, has any of you ever been on a plane and the guy in front of you, and women let farts far sometimes, I think, more odious than men. But you ever been on a plane and the person in front has a flatulence problem? I mean, now that's hell. No, 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 no. That's purgatory, because there is no relief. Seriously. I used to do so much traveling through airports and what have you. And and then you got those that do the sneaky farts. You're on the human the moving sidewalks, right? And someone ahead of you has passed gas, and by the time you and the people around you get into it, you're looking at everyone around you. And of course, they didn't have anything to do with it. The real culprit is, 10 yards ahead. But it's true. I mean, it's an absolute fact. And um, Charlie says people say I'm lactose intolerant. Well, then keep away from the ice cream. That's all I got to say. You see, it's so true. It's just the way it is in life. Always made me wonder about the products that would really, going back, and I mean, hey, we're just talking about human life here, that, they had the poop pourri. It was for the traveler that goes into the public bathrooms, where you can put your poop pourri in there before you do your business. And, those products never do sell. I don't know why. So, all right, let's move on. Folks, you gotta laugh. It's okay. We're all trying to figure this thing out, and Sometimes it's a little more difficult than it appears to be. So, couple of things that, let's see. So y'all remember when I put this together, how we see what we would consider to be, well, people. These would be called what? Homo sapiens? Because they look like Homo sapiens in the clouds. You know, I contend that there is actually a life force, a species that inhabit strange things that, you know, how do these things happen? I contend that the person that took this one, I have when clouds start having sharp 90-degree right angles, okay, I ain't buying it. But they're there. One of the things I talked about, because I used to do a lot of flying, that I saw strange things always. I always tried to get seat A1. Most of the time I did. And it had a great view and saw a lot of weird stuff. And, we humans, we look at this. This is the kind of stuff that I saw. There was so many UFOs out there, but yeah, clouds. I mean, this one, I contend that that's a cloaked ship. This one, that's a badass thunderstorm. That's all I got to say. I mean, you look at these and I often wonder if there is a higher intelligence that is not restricted by these humanid bodies, these bipedal bodies, that have the ability to be as big as they want to be. They do their artwork quite spectacular, but we see the faces all the time. I mean, what the hell is that? I mean, well, you're looking at this and you're going, well, okay. Got that song. He's got the whole world in his, got this. Yeah, that's what you think. And of course, this was for the Denver Broncos. Strange, is it not? I contend that these are intelligent beings. Of course, this one has several unique features about it. I often wonder the face on the ass end of the horse. That one is weird. Of course, we all see this. Nothing to see, nothing to see. It's just, a contrail. Simple contrail, nothing to see. So, what are these beings? These beings are being filmed more and more and more. There is a life form that is above us that I contend. I think it was Constance had pictures of the dragon. Please resend them. And, Kaz, Hawks, she captures them all the time. Strange stuff. And, this kind of brings us back to when we were children, how we were able to see things that, that's why we always loved March. At least that's for me. Then you got a cloud of witnesses. Again, that's a strange one. Kind of blows the whole myth that there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. My ass, it's a damn tornado. And the thing about it is, it's a rainbow tornado. Now, I'll guarantee you don't see that every day. A rainbow tornado. Again, these creatures, they're up there. There be dragons. That's all I know to call these creatures. And because we're catching them, they appear to be multi-dimensional in their ability to. I don't know if this is their natural environment, that they're indigenous to this planet. We have to expand our thinking that we can't be the ones that are truly indigenous to this planet. And the planet is huge. Strange things sometimes that we see. Poor Atlas, huh? And here's gun control. Give me all your money. Strange. I see these all the time. The dragons. I don't know. Maybe it's because dealing with Kaz. I don't know, but we get these type of clouds now, and you know, it's like they're almost. If you recognize and acknowledge them, they'll show themselves even more. Strange. Of course, that's not a natural cloud either, but more. Quite beautiful when you think about it. Some call these Siths. Lots of dragons. And then you get the strange, the unusual. This was actually taken from a plane. There you go. But you know, the rational mind would say, well, you know what, Steiger, this is just not reality. I don't know what reality is. I know this. The Earth puts on a show. I'm glad I got a lot of popcorn and a lot of water because it has been a fabulous ride, and I'm looking for seeing much more. And you can see all over the world. This is an odd one. So what was the pilot on the UFO drunk or what? Watch out, man. You're going to hit them. Oh, crap. You hit the cloud, man. Now they're going to know we're here. And I think as the Earth continues to change, and it's changing, I think that we're going to see, I think the plasma lightning and the plasma shows are really going to be quite spectacular. This is quite beautiful, isn't it? And then there's this sometimes where you go, okay. Looks like someone had snowshoes on, huh? Little greasy skies, but quite beautiful, aren't they? So we see this and we ask ourselves, well, is that natural? Seems to be. Yeah. I don't know how much of this is a result of, weather modifications, but I know this, it's spectacular. And the fact is, most people never look up. So they're like, wow, that was pretty far out. It's like, yeah, because we're addicted to the magic black box, it's like, you know, we got you now, and we ain't gonna let you go. So, well, organic intelligence, thank you. I enjoy you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Electromagnetic art. Oh, beloved abstract. Way to go. That may be a whole new term. I like that. That is cool. You see, brilliant, brilliant group here. I mean, brilliant. So here is another one. So we all know about Project Bluebeam, and this is no nonsense. This is the real deal. I mean, if you look at now what between Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, and who was the other one? Google. Those four companies alone probably have over 100,000 low orbiting satellites now. And this is not a challenge. The technology, the patents have been out there the patents have expired. But I am convinced that as the powers to be begin to continue to lose control, more and more people are saying to hell with television, to hell with, radio, the mainstream radio. We've had enough of it. And so as they begin to disconnect from these mind melds, we have to do something else to get them back into the fold. And the way you get people back into the fold is that you begin to do head trips on them. And whether it's through radiation manipulation of mind control, whether it is the thought of triggering within the humans their ability to actually use telepathic abilities, but because they don't believe in that, but when it happens, they begin to think that they're hearing from God or from something else. Because they're not versed, then they become very susceptible to the programming and the suggestion. Now, I believe that the world has been prepped for what we think is disclosure. We're so much in confusion and chaos that should the ships show up in the sky, are we going to be seeing an actual event, or are we going to be seeing the holographic light show of the century? And then when you get that aspect where people are now receiving communications from ET, the net is supposedly, and I think it is, I think it's being interrupted. I think because of the continued instability of our magnetosphere, that these systems are going to be having more and more glitches. And if in fact ET is of a higher intelligence, and in fact they use telepathy as a means of communication, I believe humans will become very primed at that point to start receiving literal downloads from the off-worlders. Of course, they may tell us, who the hell are you calling off-worlders? Like, hey man, meant no offense. Take me to your master. Anyway, so think about this. What would be the one event that would tie the world all together for a global government almost overnight? The imminent threat of an alien invasion. Worldwide, you would have what we would call lockdowns. You would have meetings of NATO, Russia, China. There would be a new agenda like this. And this is what this document gets into. They have thought this thing out because they know this. The whole denominator in all of this is deceit, disinformation, distortion, disguise, derangement. How do they do that? Well, they do that through devices. And the one device that we all have now, rich, poor, doesn't matter, is our bodies. They're about to be chipping us. You don't believe me, do you? Who was it who sent me the link today? Let me just stop here. I want to show you something. We'll come right back to this. Because I was quite surprised when I found out about this. I was listening to David Icke, is that right? Yeah. And his guest. So, folks, they've been at this for a while. This is Illuminate Biodiversity. They're barcoding everything, including us. Many of us they say, are already been barcoded. And as you can see, this is ibol.org. And isn't it odd? Illuminati? Don't tell me this is all conspiracy crap. This is real. And and they're changing. The woman that was doing the interview with David was quite interesting, because she says what they're really doing is, well, they're changing the light of our planet. And that has all sorts. And I want to make sure that, yeah, it was David Icke. Yeah. Just reading some of the comments. Hey, I'm right there with you, Peter. I don't like the idea any more than you do. But let me get right back to that document. So yeah, they're barcoding our ass. In fact, someone asked me about Bitcoin, and I told them, I said, well, you can get in now. It's kind of late. But I said, the next big thing to be investing in is those who hold the patents for the biocurrency. Bill Gates, Microsoft. Google's involved. Apple's involved. Intel is involved. Yeah. They got to do away with money. They have to do away with the currency. They have to do away with even these cryptocurrencies. The way you do that is that you make the body the bank, the depositor, and, receiving out. So the devices are debt, division, darkness, distraction, destruction, dispossession. I love that one. Disempowerment and dependency. That then delivers the deputies and the drones. Then that comes up here, and this is all based on disclosure, right? So you have the desire now. Then you got the drudges, the diseases, the agenda for depopulation, which leads to domination, which leads to despots, which leads to dynasties, which leads to God, deity. A lot of people are going to go batshit crazy, and they're going to be doing weird shit in the name of their God because they heard God speaking to them. I'm running out of time on this one, but folks, this is an interesting, it's not that long of a paper. I'll go back into it a little bit tomorrow as well, but it really gets into, well, how this is actually the agenda that they're unfolding. And the agenda, it's coming to pass, folks. It's there. It's there. So, and and I keep on thinking about this thing, now I was in the payment industry for a long time. Talk about a black magic industry. Wow. I mean, I'll share some stories on that. I've shared a few, but whoa. But anyway, there was a time when I was working with some companies that were doing some very advanced work, and they were trying systems out on senior citizens in Florida. And what they did was actually have, it's a painless process that tattoos right here. They can also put one right up here, but the scanners work best on the hand because there's a lot of reasons for it, because people, anyway. And what they found is that it's an effective system. If you got hackers into it, I mean, that's always the threat, but these systems will have some pretty sophisticated encryption, but this is where it's going. It's the only place that it can go. The question is, when that day comes, or maybe that day is already here, what do we do? I don't know. Monkey experiment. Yep. That's a fact. Soylent Green, Loretta. So interesting. Yeah. Those two movies that Heston made at that one, the Omega Man. Remember about the worldwide virus that was developed in the lab, and he had the antigen in his body. Yeah. So interesting. Yeah. All right, folks. We'll pick up tomorrow. This has been fun. I mean, the first part of the program, somebody needed to hear that. That's all. Next week, we're going to have Ryderly on. And yeah, I think Nina has her program on today. I think she has her hump day over on Facebook. So I don't know. The time changed. It may should be all right. But anyway, the snakes mark the beast. Yeah. Gina Rose, I'm doing a thing on the Steiger perspective on that. The mark of the beast. I mean, what the hell's going on? That's what I want to know. All right, folks. So much love to you all. Thank you. This is a great, time to come together. I tell you, it's y'all are a remarkable group of people. And y'all are each one special. And I thank you for coming in part of this. We got, I was talking to Robert V. He's got some things going. And 2 years ago, we didn't have a soul tribe. We were coming together, but well, thank you, Jack Dreaming. Appreciate that. Right back at you. And that's what we have to do. Stay positive. Come on, folks. We can create the energy. Brian said it best: be the frequency you want to be the frequency you want to receive. Yeah, it works. Amy, thank you. This is a fabulous group of spirit beings here, if I've ever seen them. So, all right, folks, I'll see you tomorrow. I think Andromeda 7 has their show on tonight, so check them out. And we'll pick up tomorrow. We ain't done with this. We're on to something. I mean, this time loop. I mean, and you think about the Terra papers, how all of this is just so, how should we say, conveniently coincidental. I smell a rat. That's what I smell, a rat. So they would say it. All right, folks, much love to you. Namaste to you all. Favor and keep smiling. Y'all are the best. Thank you, Big Al. Thank you, the moderators. You're beautiful people.